We're going to do a lot of work into shoulders tonight and getting a little bit into balance. So you probably saw inversions and maybe you got a little scared. Don't be scared. We're going to approach this really slow, and you don't have to bring both your feet off the ground if you don't like. All right, so on your belly, gently press yourself up. Open your knees wide. Bring your big toes together to touch, and then set yourself back in child's pose. Sometimes child's pose is a little bit tough, and if it is for you tonight, then you can just stay forward, folded hands on, or forehead rather, on the back of your palms. If you're in child's pose, arms are long, and then bring your palms together. Bend your elbows, walk them a little bit forward, and then let your thumbs rest on the back of your neck. And then in either pose, either on your belly or in your child's pose, start to notice the breathing, your cadence, your depth of breath, and the sound of it here on the mat. Notice what you're coming into this space with. And as you feel your hips or your stomach start to relax, let your breathing also slow to an even cadence. Feel your side bodies get a little bit longer in your child's pose. Maybe even walk your elbows a little bit more forward as you pull your hips back. And then begin to close your mouth if it's not already closed, so that your breath travels in and out of your body through your nasal passage. Start to make that sound an audible breath as your breath moves across the back of your throat, in and out. Inhale and exhale. Do that 2 more times here. And then slowly release your hands forward. If you're in child's pose, then you'll come all the way forward back onto your belly. Now, if you are joining us from your belly, gently bring your hands under your shoulders. We're going to move into a prone. So that is what this position is on your belly. That is prone. Shoulder stretch. All right. So what you're going to do is start with your right arm and extend it out to the right side. You want your palm to be face down. You want to make sure your arm is perpendicular to your body. So reach that arm forward, away from you, and then look to your left hand. Set your right ear down. With your left hand, push yourself onto your right side. Set your head down. And then this top leg, so your left leg, can either just drop back behind you. This will create a little bit more opening in your hip flexor, or you can press that foot down into the mat. And this is going to be a little bit more stable. Keep your left hand pressing down into the mat. Feel a nice opening in your chest on the right side. Breathe in and out. Inhale. Feel your top, your left rib grow high and full. And exhale, navel pulls in. Do your best to keep your head relaxed so that it's resting on the mat and you're not using the neck muscles to hold it up. And then exhale, slowly roll back into center. Bring your right hand in, tense that, so palm is pressing up, finger pads down, extend your left arm out, a little bit more space. Palms spread wide, fingers out, gaze to the right and set your head down. Take an inhale, and then exhale, roll onto the left side. Do the same thing with the top leg as you did on the first side. So either leg up, knee bent, or dropping that leg back behind you, getting a little bit of hip flexor stretch. Me, I always go for the hips. If I can get any more stretch in my hips, give it to me. They're always tight. And then begin to focus in on your breath. Feel now your right rib expand, the top rib with each inhale. And then exhale, your body melting down into that left shoulder head. Again, notice if you're lifting your head up, see if you can let it relax. It might roll a little bit more forward or back depending on any shapes, any flat spots you might have in your head. Inhale. And then exhale, again, roll back into center. All right, take both hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, press up and back, hips over your heels. Stretch your arms long and walk them forward. And then slowly come all the way up into all fours. Drop your hips down to one side. And then you're going to come into Janu Shirshasana. And we're going to do this on the side of your mat so that you can use the sticky mat, if you're practicing with a sticky mat, to anchor your leg. Now, if you're not practicing with a sticky mat, you can just do wide leg facing your screen. We're going to extend the right leg out to start and pull your left hip in. So legs wide. Now this can be used in a forward fold. What we're going to do is try and focus on stretching our side body here, opening up our shoulders, and again, letting our head relax. So left hand comes to the inside, or right hand rather, to the inside of your extended right leg. And then press into that leg. Use your other hand, your left hand, get the shoulder, and then as though you were pulling a bow, open up your chest. Just manually give yourself that adjustment. Pull your left shoulder head back, and then with your hand on your shoulder head, relax your neck down. Stretch your arms straight up towards the ceiling, and then let it drop back behind you. And inhale, bring it forward towards your toes. Exhale across the horizon. Let it drop back. Inhale towards your toes. So you're making like a big helicopter movement. Exhale along the horizon. Now, if you could keep this hand in the same plane, you can try and do that, but drawing the hand back, it's probably going to raise a little bit. Inhale back and exhale forward. Feel a nice stretch into that left side body. Inhale back and then exhale forward, and stop with your hand hovering over your hip. So away from your extended toes. Let your head relax down even more. Now you're stretching the side of your neck. With this bottom arm, press into your extended leg. Open your chest. Keep reaching fingertips back. Palm is down. Relax your head. Take another deep breath in and out. Keeping that arm parallel with the ground. You're going to bend your bottom elbow and bring those finger pads to rest your head on. So they're right by your temple. Inhale and exhale. On this next breath in, slowly press your head up so that your torso comes all the way up. Nice. Roll your neck out from one side to the other. And then switch legs. Extending out your left leg, pulling your right heel in towards midline, sit up nice and tall. And then drop your left arm down, press it to the inside of your shin. Side of your ear towards your shoulder as you press and relax your head down. All right, we'll do that manual adjustment again. So palm comes to the bottom shoulder to start. And then draw it across your chest, open your chest. Keep it nice and open. You can inhale and exhale. Inhale, stretch your arms straight up. Exhale, let it drop back behind you just slightly. Breathe here, feeling your chest stay open. Feeling your side body stretch. Keep pressing your right hip down. So that's this outer hip. You might want to lift up and say, nope, stay. It's going to get you a deeper stretch in that side body. Inhale, start to reach your arm forward towards your toes, palm flat. Then across the horizon, exhale. Up it back. Inhale, up and overhead. Exhale. Rolling out your shoulder, getting nice full rotation, and using your breath. You need to breathe in and out through your nose. Inhale and exhale, letting the arms slowly come to a stop, extending over your hip. Let your head hang even heavier now, feeling the stretch on the outside of your neck. Deep breath in and out. See if you can pull your arm even longer. Keep your hip rooted down, extend your foot, and then using that bottom arm, sometimes you forget about that integration. Press that arm into your leg to open your chest. Stretch out through your upper arm. Take another breath in. And then out. Begin to bend your bottom elbow. Using your fingertips, support the weight of your head. And then on your next inhale, slowly draw yourself up. Using your hand to bring your head back up. And then take some gentle neck circles. Rolling one way and then the other. And you'll push yourself up, coming back into all fours. Begin to turn on our core a little bit. All right, bring your forearms down to the mat. So anybody that has some wrist sensitivity, tonight's class is going to be good to you. We're going to stay mostly on our forearms. You want your forearms shoulder width distance apart, and then extend one leg back and then the other, coming into a forearm plank. Rock forward and back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Keep pressing your palms down, fingers spread. Inhale forward, exhale back. Now rock to about midline so that your shoulders are over your elbows, your heels are stacked over your toes. Notice if your hips are hiking up, draw them down. If you need to, you can always bring your knees down to the mat for a modification, and navel will draw in. Nice straight line. Gaze is right between your wrists. so that the very top of your spine can stay long. You can feel that energy, that support wrapping all the way from the very bottom pelvic core up around your shoulders and then out the crown of your head. All right, slowly bring your knees wide, big toes together to touch. Again, press back into child's pose. Forehead comes down. You can open up your knees as wide as you need to. Try and nestle your ribs in between your thighs. And then instead of letting yourself kind of collapse and melt here, extend and activate your arms. Keep gripping your finger pads down into the mat. And then use that to press your hips back. Get your side bodies long. Extend from your pinkies all the way to those hip points. See if you can get that even longer. Now using your hips as an anchor as you maybe walk your hands a little bit more forward. Inhale. Exhale, rest your forehead down if it came up. Maybe walk your fingertips a little bit more forward. You can also tent your hands here. So palm is up and fingers are pressing down into the mat. Then pull your hips back. Feel a big stretch in your back, your heart melting down. Inhale. Exhale. Palms come down, forearms come down. Walk yourself forward to slither onto your chest. And then come back up, Sphinx Pose. Extend your feet behind you. Press your palms down, and then knees are wide from child's pose. Keep them wide. Bend both toes, bring your big toes together to touch. Keep your palms down, press in, and then maybe start to straighten your arms a little bit. So your elbow tips just hover off of the mat. Pull your elbow tips towards each other. See if you can pull your chest a little bit more forward on the mat. Keep your belly engaged as you pull yourself through. Again, elbow tips coming towards each other. Breath in, and then lower your forearms down, lower your feet down. Bring your legs again hip width distance apart. Tuck your toes, gaze down between your wrists. From here, we're going to press back up into our forearm plank. Spread your hands wide. Draw your navel in, lower your hips down. Again, we're going to rock a little bit forward and a little bit back. Feel the weight shift forward into your palms as you rock forward, and feel the weight shift into your elbows as you rock back. One more time, inhale and exhale. Last time, inhale. Exhale, bring your knees down and bring them down underneath your hips. Hip width distance apart. So we're going to hang our torso down from our hips, walk your hands forward. Very similar to what we were doing in child's pose to stretch our side body, but a little bit more intense in the upper back. Set your forehead down. Walk your hands forward. Elbows stay lifted off of the mat. And once you reach your limit from fingertips to hips, you can again tent your fingers, so palms up and pads your fingers down to bring a little bit more intensity into the upper back. Breathe in and breathe out. More time, inhale and exhale. This time, breathe in and out. Bring your palms down. Look forward. Shift forward. Legs back. This time, just Sphinx Pose. So press your feet down. Feel your low back engage. Press your palms down. Again, pull your chest through. So very similar shape to Anahata Asana, the pose we were just in. Nice open chest. Abs are engaged. Gaze down. All right, last time. We're going to add on a little bit more toughness. A little bit more engagement. Tuck your toes. Gaze down between your wrists. Lift your hips up. Coming into forearm plank. If your elbows started to creep out to the edges of your mat, then bring them in. You can just lift one up, set it down, and then the other. Keep pressing down, especially through your thumb and pointer finger. It feels easy to roll the palms up. You want to keep them glued down. And now we're going to shift our gaze back so you can see your toes. Start to walk your toes in, hiking your hips up, Dolphin Pose. Inhale. Exhale, walk your feet back out. Take a breath in and a breath out. Drop your gaze back to your toes. Inhale, walk your toes in, Dolphin Pose. We haven't opened up our hamstrings too much yet, so you can bring it out wide. And then exhale back. And if you're bringing out wide, you can keep your forearm plank wide as well. Last time, inhale. Woo, strength in your upper arms. Exhale. Inhale, start to walk your toes in. This time, stay in your Dolphin Pose for 3 breaths. Letting the crown of your head hang down towards the mat, still is lifted. Pressing your forearms down, lift your hips up a little bit higher. Breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath. Inhale, press through your palms. Exhale, bring your knees down underneath you. Set your hips back, forehead down to the mat, and then draw your arms down by your side. So this is called Embryo Pose. And in this pose, I do want you to just melt. Feel your shoulder blades pull up and away from your spine as they drop down towards the mat. They can shrug up towards your ears. Start to breathe some space into the area behind your heart. As those shoulder blades move away from your spine and drop forward, it's like they start to expose all of those little knots in our upper back. So breathe into that. Find that exposure and potentially a little release. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Bring your hands back forward. Underneath your shoulders. Come up into all fours. Tuck your toes and lift up and back, downward facing dog. Should feel a lot of strength in those shoulders and a strong sensation into all of the work we've done to turn on our upper back. Notice if your side bodies feel a little bit longer, and you can wiggle a little bit from side to side, lifting one heel and then the other. And then find a breath of stillness. Inhale. Exhale all of the air out. Gaze forward to your thumbs and then step or jump to the front of your mat. Uttanasana. And you're going to bend your knees so your ribs rest down on your thighs. Sweep your arms forward. And then lift them up as you draw your torso up. Navel in. Sit down and back, Uttanasana chair pose. Breathe in and out. Sit down and back. Inhale, lift your gaze forward, thumbs maybe drop back. And out. Inhale, press up to standing. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, press into your shins, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands and step back to a plank pose. Inhale here. Exhale, lower all the way down to your chest. Press the tops of your feet down. inhale, Cobra Pose. And then lower yourself down. Walk your hands out to the side. Again, tent your finger or your palms up, finger pads down. So you got them about a foot or so away from your shoulders. Inhale, pick yourself up again. This time, feeling that engagement in your upper back as you do so. So we're gonna try and take this Cobra Pose for the rest of class. Exhale, lower down, hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. And then exhale, bring your knee forward between your elbows. Inhale, high. We did this a lot last week. Exhale, forward. Last time, inhale, high. Exhale, left foot by your left thumb. Gaze down at your right foot, the back foot. Step it in and a little bit wide. And then pull your heel down, toes out. We're setting up for Veerabhadrasana One Warrior One. Come and rise up, bring your hands to your hips. And you want to see if you can draw the right hip forward, left hip back. So in this position, our hips are square facing forward. Now this is going to be important to start to feel that alignment, that scissoring. And as always, if you don't like this back heel down and it brings any kind of awkward pressure into your knee, you can bring that heel up for a high lunge. Inhale, bring both of your arms up. And then exhale, drop them back behind you. Interlace your palms, open your chest, take a breath in. And then with your hands here, you're gonna bring them to the outside of your right hip. Opening up that left shoulder. Keep your left hand there. Inhale, sweep your right arm up. Whenever my right arm extends, I really feel this back leg turn on. Exalted warrior. Maybe even slide that left hand down your left or right leg. Another breath in. And then exhale. Bring both hands down to the mat. Step the left foot back. Take a breath in. And lower all the way down to the mat. Arms wide. Press the tops of your feet down. Inhale, press up. And exhale, down. Hands under your shoulders. Press up, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Strong right leg lifted up high. Inhale. Exhale, come forward. Knee through your elbows. Inhale, arms up, or leg up rather. Exhale, forward and through. Last time, inhale, lift. Exhale, come through, plant your right foot down. Gaze back at your left, step it forward. Ground your left heel down towards midline. Press through the front leg to come up to standing. Hands to your hips and see if you can straighten them. So straighten them means squaring them so that they're under your shoulders. Draw your right knee forward over your right knee. Press actively through that back heel. Again, you can always make the modification to lift that heel. You just want that back leg super engaged. All right, and then once you've set your foundation, sweep both arms up. Inhale. Exhale, relax your shoulders down your back. Keep your core engaged. Breath in. And then release your hands down. Interlace your palms, open your chest forward, maybe lift your gaze. Exhale, start to slide your fingers down your back leg. And then begin to guide your right arm across to the outside of your left hip. That's gonna do a nice job keeping this right shoulder open. All right, now you're gonna leave that right arm there. Inhale, sweep your left arm up. I don't know why. As soon as I raise that arm up, the back leg's like, zing, I'm here, I am present. All right, reach your fingertips, probably because the energy has like, an exit, right? It's coming up through the feet and then right out through those fingertips. It's an exhilarating pose. And if you want, you can start to slide that right hand down your leg. Another breath in. And exhale. Cartwheel both hands down. Step your right foot back. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale all the way down. Arms wide, press the tops of your feet down. Inhale, Bhujangasana, wide arm cobra. And then exhale, lower yourself down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes. Inhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. And then from here, we're going to do turbo dog. So what we're gonna do is actually come down to our knees and set this pose up together. So we've done turbo dog once before, once or twice maybe. And it's a lot of fun and it's a lot of strength and turning on serratus anterior. So that is the muscles that come down along the side body and help us engage and wrap our arms internally, help us stabilize. They also turn on right in the armpit. So sitting back on your heels, raise one arm up and actually take the other arm into your armpit and then open palm, wrap and feel your muscles that run from your chest to your back through your armpit turn on. So if you push your thumb into that area, it should be like, oh yeah, there's something going on there. That's what we want to do. Okay, so in our turbo dog, you're gonna bring your hands down and forearms down so they're shoulder width distance apart. Then lift your elbow tips up to hover. Pull them in towards each other. You'll also notice that the eyes of the elbow start to shine forward. Open your palms, press them down into the mat. And you'll feel your finger pads pushing down. Take a breath in. Expand in your upper back. Tuck your toes. Exhale. Start to lift your knees up. Pull those elbow tips towards each other. Gaze is down between your forearms for this pose. It's hard to just let your head go. Inhale. Again, your feet can be a little bit wide. Exhale, pull those elbow tips in towards each other. Now, if you could feel into your armpit, you would know that all those muscles are turned on right now. And it's like you have a train-like effect of a trigger, muscles all the way down your side body, working here to keep you up. Another inhale. Exhale, bring your knees down. Again, we're going to do Anahata Asana, or heart melting pose. Walk your hands forward. Bring your forehead down to the mat. Extend your fingers. If you want to, you can tent them up. Keep your hips right over your knees here. Don't let them come forward. And imagine as though your spine was draping down from your hips to the floor. Take a breath in and a breath out. One more time. Inhale and exhale. And plant your palms down. Inhale, come forward, tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. This is where we are going to want our props. So you're going to want them on either side of your mat. Come back to downward facing dog. And if you only have one, you can use a water bottle, something like that. And it'll be on the inside of your foot. So just have it off near the front if you got one tonight. If you're working with one prop. Come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your left leg high. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Bring, again, this should be called the tented hand class. Palms up, finger pads down, draw your chest forward, take a nice long lunge, and then lower down your right knee. You can support underneath that knee with a little extra fold in your mat or straight down. Press the top of your foot down, inhale, bring both of your arms up. Again, hips are square, moving forward. Want to keep that opening up your right hip flexor. And then you're going to take your left hand and drop it down. Now it can either drop down, face you, to the outside of your mat. If you have one prop, you can either press that hand into the prop, or if you're using like a water bottle, just cup that hand around the water bottle. And then you're going to lift your right arm up and over. Again, getting a nice long side body stretch. Let your left ear drop to your left shoulder. Your breath in and out. Inhale and exhale. One more time, inhale. Really feeling your right ribs expand. Exhale, plant your hands down to frame your front foot. Start to shift your left leg towards straight. Hips again stack over your knee. Ardha Hanumanasana, or half splits. And you might want to pull in two props to press your hands down into. If you've got the one prop, you bring it to the inside of your left shin. Otherwise, finger pads can maybe reach down. Pull your left toes back, opening up your left hamstring. And then either stay here, or if you'd like to go a little bit deeper, tuck your back toes under and start to walk your back toes back. Press your left foot forward. As you inhale, pause, draw your legs back towards each other. So you're scissoring, keeping that integration back into midline and making sure that your hips don't open to the side, but instead stay square. So they're running parallel with the front and the back of your mat. And using a couple breaths in and out. And if you have those props, you can use those props right on either side around your hips. Your left toes flexed. One more breath in here and out. And then if you're in your full Hanumanasana, pose of Hanuman, slowly pull it back in. So again, hips are stacked over our knees. Plant your hands and bring your left foot down. Plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet, stretch side body. So let's do that all together. So press your hands into the mat, feet hip width distance apart. In your downward facing dog, inhale. Keeping your upper body, just drop both of your heels to the left side. So the right side gets a nice stretch. Inhale, heels up to center. Exhale, over to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Then inhale, center, lift your right leg high, inhale. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Pull your palms up, finger pads down. Stretch your lunge out nice and long. And then slowly bring your left knee down to the mat. Press the top of your left foot down. Inhale, sweep both of your arms up, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Again, working your hips square, shoulders square, starting to open up that left hip flexor. Then bring your right hand down to the block or to the mat. Extend your left arm up, inhale and exhale, Side body stretch overhead. You can drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. You need to breathe here. Feeling all the way from that grounded left knee up through your left fingertips, like you were pulling something nice and tight and long. More inhale. Exhale, drop that left hand down. Frame your feet. And then start to straighten your right leg. Pulling your right toes up, grounding that heel down. Setting yourself up first for Ardha Hanumanasana or half Hanuman pose. And then if you'd like to, start to press that right foot forward, tuck your back toes under and begin to walk that knee back. Inhale, scissor your legs, pulling your right femur head back, your left hip forward, and then exhale, press forward. Through your front toes, beginning to straighten that leg. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Time, breathe in and out. Finding your deepest pose. So if you're in Ardha Hanumanasana, it might be that your chest is just closer and closer to that front thigh. And if you're in full Hanuman, then it's the point where you feel like you've reached your limit. Feet as far apart as they'll go, hips still square forward, and then breathe there, finding that edge. Slowly begin to drag your front heel back into the half splits. Move the blocks out to the side, plant the right foot down, and step back, downward facing dog. Feet hip width distance apart. Inhale, exhale, drop both heels to the left, pause. Keep anchoring through that right hand to stretch the right side body. Then lift both heels up. Drop both heels to the right. Press down and long, hiking your hips up as high as they'll go and stretch the left side body. Then bring both heels up. Bring your knees down to the mat. All right, we're gonna put this all together, working into Pinche Mayarasana, which is forearm balance. So, couple of things to say before we do some attempts. Wall is always an option, and so you can start to move yourself over to a wall if you'd like to use that as a prop tonight. Second thing I want to say is, unlike handstand, this pose is better approached without a kick. So if you can start to rock yourself forward enough so that you're almost doing the splits in the air. Don't want the kiddos to walk in. So that you're doing more of the splits in the air, and then begin to feel that balance and start to lift the other leg up. I find that you have a lot more core integration and you'll be a lot more successful eventually lifting that leg all the way up. So I'll demonstrate without a wall, and then if you choose to do a wall, you can do it, same thing, just at the wall, fingertips essentially right at the baseboard. So you're gonna set yourself up just like we do for dolphin, grabbing opposite biceps, forearms down on the mat, palms wide. Tuck your toes, lift up into your dolphin pose. Now remember that turbo dog, pulling your elbow tips in. You want to keep that kind of integration and walk your toes in. Press your chest between your arms, just like we did with all of those other chest openers. And then lift one leg up. Rock forward. So you come on the tippy toes of that other leg. Now it's really important when you lift a leg that you don't let your hips open out to the side. You want to keep your hips square, which is why we practice Veerabhadrasana One and the low lunge, because our hips and our shoulders were square. So we want to keep that tightness, that integration in our hips as we get into our inversion. Forward and back. You'll feel the weight move into more of the pad, and then maybe bending your leg, lifting up and coming down. Any kind of little kick though is really slow and controlled. It's not a big movement toppling the weight forward. So same thing you can do at the wall. So if you haven't set yourself up, you've probably seen it now. You know where we're going. So at the wall, fingertips just right at the baseboard, and still shoulders width distance apart. Ground down, lift one leg, rock forward so that you're centering the weight. It's not on your elbow, it's not on your finger pad, it's about midway on your forearm. And you want to rock that weight forward so that you feel shoulders, forearm, hips start to stack in a vertical line. And then you bring that one foot up. So you've got about 70% of your body weight already lined up. And then you work with bringing that last leg with you. Woo! Maybe you don't go all the way over if you're against the wall, but if you do go all the way over, you're at your house and your video is turned off. Mine wasn't. All right, give that another attempt. And again, if you don't want to go upside down, this is the same as an inversion. Your heart is pumping or is working to pump in the opposite direction. And so you can just lift a leg, rock forward, heel lifts on the back and back. And then when you've had enough, slowly come down to the mat. Bring your forehead down. Child's pose. Walk your hands forward, palms together in a prayer. And then bring your thumb to rest at the very base of your skull. Slow your breathing. Even out your inhale with your exhale. Feel your heart and your hips melt down. Your hands back down and come forward onto your belly. This is the prone class too. You're going to bring your forearms down and then lift up. No more hard poses. You're going to take your left hand and slip it underneath your right. Bring your left ear down to the mat and your right knee up. And then slowly lift your right arm up. Let it drop overhead, coming into a supine twist, but more from the front. So it's going to feel a little bit different. You'll really feel this knee come down and the left leg long. Slow your breathing. Feel that gentle twist across your navel and your low back. Your left hand will stay on the mat and your right arm arm might not make it all the way over to the mat. In fact, it might be hovering. That's okay. And then slowly come back out by lifting your right arm up and planting it down on the mat. Slide your right leg straight. Come onto your belly, press into your right hand, and bring your left arm out. It's a human pretzel. All right, and then moving to the opposite side, press your left arm into the mat, left palm. So the elbow lifts and slide your right arm through. Walk it as far as you can so you can set down your right shoulder. Then bring your left knee up. It's almost like a prone tree pose here. And set the right side of your head down. Extend your left palm up towards the ceiling. Right leg is long. And then let it drop back behind you, opening up your left shoulder. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. 2 more times. Breathe in. And out. In. And out. All right. Bring this left hand now to your left hip. Start to pull your right knee up. So you're in a fetal position, and then roll onto your back. Recenter yourself on the mat. Hands down by your side. Walk your feet in. Tickle your heels with your fingers, making sure that they're pretty close. And then gently press up into a bridge pose. Final pose of the class. Draw your knees forward, gently press the crown of your head towards the front of your mat. You can either grip onto the edges of your mat or take your fingers, point your finger and thumb, and cup around the base of your heel so that your pointer finger is to the inside, thumb to the outside. One more inhale. And then exhale, let your hands slip to the side and lower your spine down. Let your knees drop out wide. Soles of your feet come together for Bodhikanasana, Supine Bodhikanasana, bound angle, or you can extend your legs long. If you're in Patagonia, you can bring one hand to either hip point or let your palms be out by your side. Lift your chest, draw your shoulders together underneath it so it's the highest point of your body. Joseph Campbell said that your sacred space is where you find yourself over and over again. And for some people, that place might be brick and mortar, a constructed physical space. So they can tune out the outside distractions and recenter themselves. But for me, I find that the practice of yoga and going through all of these complicated shapes and breath and balance bring me to this space, the sacred space, where I can allow all of that scattered energy to pool back into the center and find myself again. Your knees are wide, gently use your hands to draw them back in. And if your feet were extended, bend your knees so that you have your feet planted on the ground. Slowly roll onto one side. Gently press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Lift your arms up, inhale. Exhale, draw your thumbs down your midline till they rest on your sternum. Shoulders back, nice and strong. Be curious. Follow your bliss. Namaste.